My name is Cherry Adair. I write action, adventure, romance. Let me sum it up for you. Running, chasing, shooting, falling down, wild monkey sex, happy ending. Yeah, I do believe in love at first sight. I met my husband and knew him for 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
38 years. I worked as an interior designer at a paint store when we first met. And he came in to buy wallpaper. And I took one look at him and I thought, And then he looked at me and he went, And he invited me to lunch and we went to lunch. And on Friday, that was Wednesday. Friday, we talked on the phone for about an hour. Sunday, we went to a family wedding, which should have tipped me off right then how odd his family is, but it didn't. And on Sunday night, we got engaged.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we got married 2 weeks later because I was waiting for my ring and I had to plan the wedding.
Oh, my gosh.
That.
Wow. You really walk the walk on love at first sight.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I do. I believe it. And it's got better. I'm not in love with him. I love him. It's just it's a different thing. It's much deeper. But it is kind of ironic because we met on a Wednesday. By Sunday night, so we'd known each other a few days. By Sunday night, we get engaged and he says, oh, well, now I've got to rush home because the babysitter leaves at 10. And I said, babysitter? And he said, oh, yeah, did I not mention I have 2 children?
No way. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. You're already engaged at this point?
Yeah, we were engaged. But, we had to rush home again so the babysitter could leave. And I went, okay.
So tell me, why do you think you write action adventure?
Most of us have really actually pretty ordinary lives.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun to be the heroine in a book that we read who is kick-ass, who takes no prisoners, who's got that sassy answer right then, instead of like us, where
4 days later.
4 days later, you go, oh, that's what I should have said.
I would have been so clever.
I would have been so clever, and I would have been so funny.
I want to ask you about something that I think is really dear to your heart, is your mentorship. This is something that I know is very, very important to you.
The people really that I mentor are the people who have the heart and soul to write a novel and finish the novel. Really what I'm doing is, it was like Dumbo when he couldn't fly.
Oh, and you're going to make me cry now.
Stop.
That movie makes me cry.
But when Dumbo couldn't fly, they gave him a feather and they said it was a magic feather.
Right.
And then he could fly. I'm giving them the magic feather. People come up to me at the conferences that I go to where I've issued this challenge and they say, look, and that's my payoff. That is my That's my enormous payoff when somebody comes and says, this is my Finish the Damn Book challenge book. Here it is in print. That is, you couldn't pay me for the joy that I get from that. I want to be able to touch them once and say, you know something? You are an awesome writer and you damn well can do this. Sit your butt in the chair and do it. Stop making excuses. Just do it.
Cherry, tell me about Ricochet, a T-Flack short story that you recently released.
Well, I wanted to write a short story, and I'd planned to write a short story, and I had a story in mind, which, I always do. I'm about 7 books ahead of myself, always. They're all in there. And then I met online a man known as Mr. Diabetic, who is all things diabetic. And he said, it would be fabulous if you had a heroine that was diabetic. And as he said that, I went, yes, that would actually be fantastic. I'm diabetic. I'm type 2. My best friend is type 1. And so I had this short story, and it was Diabetes Month in November. And I thought, oh, that's what I want. I want a heroine that's diabetic, who is put in a situation where she takes her insulin shot because she's going to have a meal, and then she's taken away from her whole environment, and they're on the run, running, chasing, shooting. There's even wild monkey sex, and it's a short story. So
it's condensed.
Yeah, quick wild monkey sex. But it actually actually turned out, I loved writing that book. I loved it. And I loved the cover. I had the cover done and I self-published it. And it's been really successful.
Cherry, thank you for having us in your beautiful home, surrounded by all of your books. You're a huge reader, I see.
I've been a reader before I was a writer. And books are our friends. For romance readers, we don't read a book a month or a book every 6 months. We read a book a day, 2 books a day, 5 books a day sometimes. I mean, we read a lot.
Yeah, I
so,
agree.
Look around. This is a collection of 20-something years, these books in my library. I've read all of them at least 3 times. These are only my keepers. And I keep maybe 1%, if that, of the books that I read.
It's magical to be in this room and to see all of your covers from all of your 30-plus novels and all the books you love to read. Thank you so much, Cherry.
I love having you in my office. I haven't shown my office to people. And, I sit here with all this around me all day as just background to what I'm focused on my computer. So I love bringing you into my home and sharing this with you.
Come visit us at KindleLoveStories.com or at our Kindle Love Stories page on Facebook.